Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Let me turn my volume down so I don't want to annoy anybody, do my thing and get some people in here. I want to, I always say I want to talk briefly, and I promise that is my goal. I want to share with you my ideas, my thoughts, my understanding of um, something that we need to do. We need to focus on. We need to understand if we're going to win in this American anti-black, anti-melanated system. If we're going to move our people forward in a unified fashion that has at its root level, at its base and fundamental level, the desire to protect our children on multiple levels. If we're going to do that, then we need to change. Sorry about that, Mr. Felice. If you hear me apologize, then that's me inviting someone that this message isn't for. Good people, but this is for them. So I apologize if you hear me saying that. So if we're going to win in this thing, we gotta reassess what we've been doing, how we've been doing it, what our ultimate goals are, how we're going to get there, and what we concretely need to change. We can't expect to do the same things in 2019 moving forward that we've been doing since 1963, 64, 65. It's not the same time. It's not the same movement. And even then, those efforts weren't complete, weren't well thought out by the majority of our people that were engaged in those movements. And I'm not trying to disrespect anyone. Anyone who stands firm, any brother or sister who stands firm on what they believe to be the truth and the way to move us forward, I will respect that all day long. Now, if something comes out later where that person is proven to be an agent of some sort or not having the people's intention at the heart of the matter, that's not what they were really about. Then that's a different story. But for those that were trying to do what they understood at the time was the best thing to do, I have no problem with that. I'm talking about what are we going to do in 2019 moving forward. I'm talking about our focus on solitary lanes of approach, advancement, success, and achievement. Unfortunately, we only focus Black people, African Americans, descendants of slaves, melanated people in America, born in America. We only focus on primarily three areas. Now, I'm not saying those are the only areas, but typically when a Black person has a solution that they want to present to Black America, to African Americans in the country, as to what we need to do, everyone's focus is typically in one or two areas, and it's primarily one area. And I'm saying that just focusing on one area is not going to get it. Focusing on one area is not going to cut it. Focusing on one area is not enough, because if you're only focusing on one area, then the attack is going to come from the areas that you're not focused on. That's how we continually lose, because we're putting all our eggs in one basket, and that one basket is typically in an arena that they have, somewhat allowed us to exist in, but we try to do this thing by their rules. We're not trying to totally upend the entire system and or create our own. We're trying to exist within theirs, fight by their rules and do things their way. Typically, when a Black person has a solution for Black people, it's in one of three areas. It's in politics, it's in economics, and it's in education. And of course, all of those areas are extremely important. But if we're only focusing on one or two avenues, one or two fronts, if you will, and we're being attacked by our count, supporters and members of the Black Gold Movement, on 18 different fronts. And I'm sure there are probably another 4 or 5 that we need to add, to be quite honest. But if you only focus on one and we're being attacked on 18, that means you only have one front covered. That's how we keep losing. We focus on one area and we can be very, very, very good. There's nothing that Black people put their minds to that we don't make better. That's just the nature of who we are. Anything we focus on doing, we take it to another level. It's who we are. But we're not focused on doing enough on enough levels. If we only focus the majority of our time, energy, efforts, and talents on education, then we can be very strong in education, but chances are that it's going to be about going to school, going to college, getting a degree and getting a job, working for somebody that does not have your best interest at heart, and they control you because they control your paycheck. That's not good. Focusing on economic development, or entrepreneurship, which is good. Us having as many black-owned businesses as we can get is very good. But if you're not focused on building political power, then someone can build a freeway through your business, as has happened. If you're not focusing on physical power, then someone can firebomb your business. If you're not focused on a solid education to keep your people supporting your business, then they can focus on getting your people not to focus on your business because they are marketing to your people in a way that you cannot. If we're only focused on political power, which is, we've done that, and that's pretty much what we do. We show up to, black people get excited to vote, and when it's time to vote, especially in the major election, it's out. Vote, 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 register, register, register. Your ancestors died, it's your right, blah, 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 blah. I am very pro-vote. Voting is very important, especially on the local level. Political power is extremely important, but it's not the end all be all. What if we were as motivated about voting when it's time to vote? What if we were as motivated about nation building? Nation build, nation build, nation build. We'd be a different kind of community. What if we were just focused on security? Secure the community, secure the community, secure the community. Get the predators out, as we were about voting. What if we were as motivated about self-sustainability? We standing on our own 2 feet, doing our own thing. Build for self, build for self, build for self, as we were about voting. We'd be a different kind of people, a different community. We typically focus on 3 areas: politics, education, and economics. Again, all of which are important, but in and of themselves is not enough. Your focus, or your organization's focus, on one area is not enough because we're being attacked on multiple areas. Most of us, not most, a large majority of us, a good number of us, I'll say, we're big on education, the historical aspects of it. Of course, African people were and still are an absolutely fantastic people. The things we've accomplished historically, people still can't figure out. And that's unfortunate because we don't know that we are those persons. We don't know who we are, which is part of the problem, which goes back to the education. A lot of us like to focus on the glories of the African past, but it's like that's where we live, in the past. I take great pride in being a part of a people, melanated people, African people who built the pyramids and other things of that nature. But if we're not trying to build the pyramids again, and if we're not trying to get all of our people to understand as much as possible that we did these things so that we can all rise, then, what are we doing? I understand the importance of having knowledge of self. I get that. But if you're so focused on having knowledge of self and you're not focused on the wolves that are at the door, then your knowledge of self is going to die with you when you get shot. We have to broaden our scope. We have to broaden our focus. We have to broaden our perspective. And if we don't, we're going to continue to lose. As you've heard me say before, I hope at least, the Black Gold Movement is about, we're an umbrella organization. We're about trying to find black people that are already doing things at a high level in the areas that we are being attacked in. If we find a brother or a sister who is kicking much behind in the area of education, then we want to partner with them so that we can help them make their educational thing bigger, better, and stronger. Because by us helping them make their educational thing bigger, better, and stronger, the Black Gold Movement, the Black Gold Nation, and black people become bigger, better, and stronger because we are utilizing their model of success to be bigger, better, and stronger in education. We don't have time to reinvent anybody's wheel. There's a black wheel out there that's rolling in education. We need to be a part of that black wheel. And to be quite honest, we have black people that are kicking much behind in the area of education, but we're doing it in different arenas on different levels. We need to have a national department like we have in the Black Gold Movement of educational professionals so that we can all be on the same page as it relates to education. That's unity, that's community. If there's some black people out there kicking much booty in the economic area, and I don't necessarily, economics is kind of tricky. because I am not one to get excited for a black person who is a middle person for a white person's business. I understand, I get it, it's money, that's great, but we have to stop as rapidly as possible making other economic engines run. We have enough amongst ourselves to create our own engine in multiple arenas and have them run just as well as anybody else's engine. But if we constantly put our eggs in other people's basket, then they'll continue to be able to control us. So if there's a person out there that's doing very well economically, and if it's not for a black engine, then as a people, we need to look at that. And if we need to support them for a limited time while we secretly work on getting our own engine, then we need to do that. But if there's a black engine out there that could be bigger, better, and stronger if they had support from a national people to rival that white engine or non-melanated engine, then we need to do that. So if there's a black person out there that's doing extremely well in the realm of economics, we need to find them, identify them, vet them, interview them, and if they are righteous and they're not trying to exploit our people, take advantage of our people, then we need to get behind them nationally so that we can help them in whatever economic and financial area they are moving. We need to help them be bigger, better, and stronger. Because again, us helping them to be bigger, better, and stronger helps us, the Black Gold Nation, the black community, black people, black children be bigger, better, and stronger. If there's someone out there that understands politics, understands how to develop a grassroots political organization, understands how to mobilize people, understands how to educate people, not just to get out the vote, but the importance of having an agenda together so that we not only know what we're voting for, but we know that the people that we're voting for are going to make sure that our agenda happens. If that person is out there, or that organization is out there, or that entity is out there, we need to find it, vet it, interview it, understand it, question it, put it through the ringer. And if they come out righteous on the other end, we need to support that political machine, because it's going to help all of us be bigger, better, and stronger. But aside from that, aside from the areas of education and politics and economics, where we principally focus our strength, we principally focus our energy on a solution, we got to focus on feeding ourselves, agribusiness. We got to focus on spiritual health and well-being, and not just individual self-analysis and self-help. Our people need treatment in major ways, because we've been through 400 actual and over 3,000 cumulative years of anti-black acts of terror. I was talking to one of our ambassadors today, a young brother, Brother Roz, who represents Donaldsonville, Louisiana. I get that wrong often. It's either Donaldsonville or Douglasville. I apologize, brother, if you're listening. And he was talking about the difficulty of getting our people in his area of Louisiana on board with the movement, because they don't want to sit down long enough to hear it. And I told him that's what 400 years of oppression and terrorism would do to a people. That is what we've been through. So if we don't have someone who's focused on spiritual healing and well-being for black people as it relates to what we've been through, then we're going to continue to lose. And that needs to be added to the education and the political and the economic areas that we're focusing on. We got to be able to feed ourselves. We have to be able to heal ourselves from the trauma we've gone through. We need our own legal firm that just deals with our legal issues, from business to police brutality to international business to having a corporation and what to do with it. We need our own legal firm. We need to have a cultural affairs and diplomacy department that is working with black people here in America, helping us connect with our brothers and sisters in Africa. We have right now the Black Gold Movement. Right now we have 3 or 4 countries on board right now outside of the U.S. We have ambassadorships outside of the U.S. in Senegal, in Ghana, in Kenya, and in London. And we have another, this morning's list, 25 that want to come on board. There is tremendous opportunity for African Americans here with Africans in the motherland. But if we take advantage of that, somebody else will. To hell with China Chinese labor. There's African labor that doesn't have to be exploited. That's a win-win for everybody. We need to focus on that as well. We need to focus on our own infrastructure and construction. We need to be able to build our own stuff. That needs to be added to the list. There needs to be an area that focuses on intellectual capital. There is nothing black people cannot do. There's nothing black people cannot accomplish. I believe there is no question that black people cannot answer when we collectively put our minds together or find a workaround. I said a few weeks ago on one of my live broadcasts that black people are by our nature engineers, because we will figure some stuff out. We will figure some stuff out. And if there's no direct answer, we'll find a way out of no way. We will work it out. It's what we do. We need people that are focusing on not just helping us grow our own food, but helping us create industry, create jobs from the process of growing our own food, and then using that to feed our people. We need people who are monitoring the activity in our community so we'll know what's going on. We need to know, as I've said before, the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats as it relates to every black community in this country. If we have a department that's focusing on the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats of every black community in this country, and we have people that have experience in these areas where we're strong and where we're weak, we can move our people around to shore up the weaknesses and bolster and make stronger the strengths. We have to take a look at the landscape in its entirety. And trust me, the landscape is much larger and broader and wider than economics, education, and politics. And again, I have no problem with us focusing on those areas. But where I do have a problem is if that is the only area you're focusing on and you think that is going to help you win, then you're wrong. Because we've lost by only focusing on one area. We've spent so much time on trying to get our kids to be educated, go to college, get a degree, which we've been successful at. But they end up getting a job with someone that doesn't care about black issues. They can't be publicly black because they'll lose their job, so they end up being quiet. That's a problem. We can't have political activity that's always voting for the same two parties and we never get what we want out of those two parties, or we never get enough of it. Maybe we need to have a large voting block that has an agenda that we agree on, and we say, if you don't agree to this agenda, we're not voting for anybody, or we're going to have our own political candidate, our own party. We have to understand that economically, we need to take advantage of the opportunities that exist right now in every single black community in this country. We are too busy going outside the community to try and find an opportunity. We're too busy trying to be the middle person for a white person's opportunity. We're too busy trying to create an opportunity as opposed to finding somebody, a black person, that already has an opportunity and helping them be bigger, better, and stronger. Every black community has within it right now today, what's the date? February 1st, 2019, opportunities that represent hundreds of millions of dollars. Right now today, every black community, convenience stores, gas stations, mini marts, laundromats, washaterias, restaurants and franchises, grocery stores, nail salons, beauty salons, all of these businesses, mechanic shops, car washes, all of these businesses are typically, not all, 99.9% are owned and controlled by people that don't look like us. They don't care about us, have very little, if any, respect for us, and treat us like crap. But we keep going back to them because it is a business of convenience and it's in the community. Why can't black people own those businesses? We can if we had somebody that was surveying the landscape of local businesses that we can take over. But to do that, you got to have someone who knows what they're doing, that's not just focused on the three typical areas, education, economics, and politics, that is going to say, I see what's happening on the ground in Houston as it relates to the businesses in Third Ward. I see where there's opportunity in the area of business in Third Ward. And that's an area in Greater Houston, Texas area. Greater Houston. I see where we have some opportunities. Let's start a marketing campaign, which is another area that we need to focus on. Media marketing, public relations. That's another area that we need to focus on nationally, so that we can market our solution to our people. So they will understand why they absolutely must buy black, because buying black makes the community stronger. And if we do it the right way, buying black could be money back in their pockets. If we do it the right way, buying black, a piece of that profit from that buying black goes to the youth program, which is not about integration. It's about entrepreneurship. It's about international business. It's about building power for the community. It's about putting black first. We have to get beyond focusing on economics, education, and politics. Because just focusing on economics, education, and politics leaves our other flanks unprotected. We need to be just as focused on physical security. As I talked about yesterday, I don't know if a purge is happening, but there is most certainly purge activity. Who's going to stop that purge activity if not black people? And black people can't stop it by just talking or you firing your one weapon. There are black people out there that know how to train other black people on how to fight in a group, how to secure an area, how to set up an OP, observation post, how to scan the landscape, how to touch somebody from great distances, how to deal with a threat when it's in your face. We have that expertise. That needs to be a focus. Just like we focus on getting out the vote, just like we focus on presidential candidates, just like people are talking right now about Kamala Harris, I'm not sure how you pronounce the sister's name, and I think Cory Booker is also going to run. The same way we focus on that, there needs to be the same kind of motivation and energy and focus on physical security. We have to broaden our scope as it relates to what we're trying to do. And if we are only focusing on one area, then we're going to continue to lose, because the threats aren't coming from one front. The threats aren't coming from one arena. The threats aren't coming from one direction. The threats are multiple, and in multiple directions. If we don't unify ourselves as rapidly as possible, and again, I understand that it's not going to be everyone. It's never been everyone. It's never going to be everyone, but we don't need nor do we want everyone, because the wrong person will tear your crap up. So we got to have the right ones, and the ones that we're looking for in the Black Gold movement. We're looking for three key elements for the right kind of black person in this movement. We want people that are still critically thinking, people that are unafraid or won't allow their fear to stop them, and people that want to do. Those are the kind of persons we're looking for to help us make this thing happen on the ground. Now, that does not mean that if a person wants to be a supporting member, they give their $4 monthly membership fee a month, they pay that, and then they support us if we ask them to do some research or whatever. There is something for everyone to do. We have as a people, we have a very, 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 very bad habit of excluding our people because they don't believe what we believe. We don't know how to compromise. We don't understand that we have to find our common denominators, focus on those, and whatever we might disagree on, we'll talk about that crap as we're building something for ourselves. I understand that there are other people out there trying to nation build. I have no problems with it. I can dig it. I understand. More power to you. I'm cool with it because they are trying to reach the same goal. We might be on a different path, but their goal is the same. In my mind, that's an ally. We need allies. We need allies in different colors, different backgrounds, different cultures. They might not be. They may not be able to be involved in this movement and have a leadership position in this movement, because that's not going to happen. But they can certainly be an ally. If you're engaged in a war and someone wants to help you win the war, you don't poo-poo the help, especially if you need the help. We have to stop doing that. We have to be more intelligent about what we're doing. This is chess, not checkers. We got to be smart about what we're doing. We have to understand that we're being attacked on multiple fronts, which means what? We have to fight on multiple fronts, which means what? We got to find people that know how to fight on multiple fronts, which means what? Those people have to train people on the ground as to how to fight on those multiple fronts. How do we do that? The Black Gold movement has done taken the initial steps. I was going to say heavy lifting, but that didn't sound right. We've taken the initial steps. In that we have found Black people who know what they're doing in the critically important areas where we're being attacked. And we're always looking for more. I have a certain background as I have lived in a Black-owned community for 20 plus years, so I know what that's like. I know what it feels like. I know what I've been trained to do, and that's what I am bringing to this movement. But trust me when I say we have other Black people that are bringing things I can't touch, because it's not my area. And we're constantly tweaking what we do because new people come on board. We have a new ambassador, a young brother named Masi. He's going to be representing Fayetteville, North Carolina. This young brother, I think he's 20, I think. I'm 48. I'm definitely his senior. But what this young brother is bringing is a perspective that we had thought about, but we weren't exactly sure how we were going to pursue. And we still need to tweak and refine his solution, but he has an aspect of the solution that we did not have. So I sent it to two of our brothers who are familiar with the area that a young brother is bringing. And we're going to help him develop that because it makes him bigger, better, and stronger. He working with us makes us bigger, better, and stronger. So collectively, Black people have just become bigger, better, and stronger, which means our children have a bigger, better, and stronger chance of winning moving forward. That is how we win. We find Black people that are already doing whatever they're doing, and we have a conversation with them about what we're doing, and we invite them to be a part of it. We're an umbrella organization because we understand that we don't have time to reinvent any wheels. If there's a Black person out there that's already rolling, we need to get with that wheel. And if we have two Black people that got the same wheel, then we need to have a conversation with both of them to find out, okay, who has the better wheel? And maybe brother number two will acquiesce to brother number one and say, you know what, your wheel is better. How do you do that? I'll add it to my wheel so both of us can have bigger, better Black wheels. If we find someone who doesn't want to be a part of the Black umbrella, bigger, better wheel thing, then fine, you do your thing. And when it comes, don't come to us looking for protection and safety because you don't want to help us build it. So we're not going to help you protect yours. It's not going to happen. And trust me, those Black people out there, they don't have anything to do with the Black movement, which is, it is what it is. We have to focus inward on our solutions because nobody's coming to save Black people. Nobody cares about Black people. Very few people have taken the time to understand Black people. Our own people don't understand our people, haven't taken the time to understand our people. So we can't expect somebody else to do it. It's unrealistic. It's not going to happen. They're focused on building power for their people. Our communities are overrun with predators. Predators exist in multiple levels, in multiple arenas, in multiple facets in our communities right now. Have been there for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. Individual predators, group predators, economic predators, educational predators, religious predators, community development predators. I do not believe that white people are going to give a non-profit Black organization what it needs to build power for Black people. I could be wrong. I do not know everything, but I don't believe it. We have to understand the landscape. We have to understand what we're dealing with. We have to be honest with ourselves about what we're dealing with. We have to be honest with our children about what what is trying to destroy them and prepare them for a world that's anti-black. America is not a pro-black system. We weren't brought here to be equal with white people. We were brought here to work. And a lot of people still want us to get back to that status of life in America. If we don't change that, it's not going to change. We've made our greatest strides forward as a people, as a collective group, as a community when we've had our own physical safe spaces. We were able to do our own thing. Being pro-black don't make you anti-white. Being pro-black don't make you anti-Chinese. Being pro-black don't make you anti-Buddhist, Russian, whatever. Being pro-black makes you pro-black. Means you love your black self just as much as other people love their whatever they are. We got to stop being so nice. We don't have to be disrespectful. We don't have to hurt anybody. We don't have to do any of that. We need to focus on what matters most to us, which should be our children. And if we know that there are systems out there trying to destroy our children, then why the hell are we constantly sending our children to these systems? We got to change that. But we will never be able to change that if we're always focusing on the same three areas. And us focusing on the same three areas, we're even doing that wrong because we're focusing on the same three areas, the same ways we've been focusing on them since 1962, 63, 64, 65. For 50 plus years. For almost 60 years, we've been focused on doing the same thing in the same way. That's why we keep getting the same thing. That's why we keep losing. If that's going to change, we got to change how we do things. Our goal has to be 100% across the board power. We're disrespected because we don't have power. And we don't have power because the power we could have, we're not focused on building it. Black people are extremely powerful in economics. We're just not organized and connected. We're extremely powerful in education and intellectual capital. We're just not organized and connected. We're extremely powerful in the physical sense. We're just not organized and connected. We could be extremely powerful politically. We're just not organized and connected. And I don't think anybody is as spiritual as black people. We're just not organized and connected. So we need to organize and connect. And we're never going to be able to do that if we're just operating in 1, 2, 3, well, 3 is a lot, 1 or 2 different lanes. We either have to broaden our scope and focus on the other fronts, which is unrealistic because it's too much for one person or one organization to do, or we need to get with an organization like the Black Gold Movement. Of course, I want it to be this movement, but maybe there's somebody else out there that I haven't noticed. I don't know. Get with an organization like the Black Gold Movement or the Black Gold Movement so that you will know, as you are focusing on economics, as you're focusing on politics, as you're focusing on education, all those other fronts that typically are the areas by which our communities, our businesses are attacked and destroyed. You will be a part of a movement that says, okay, you focus on your one area and do your thing. Whatever your wheel is, go do your thing. We'll support you, but we got your back on the other 17, 18, 19, 20 fronts that you're not focusing on because it's not your thing. I have yet to find an area of need that a black person can't focus on and know what they're doing in that area. We got to become self-sufficient. We got to become self-reliant. We have to become self-protected. We got to police ourselves. We got to become self-healing. We have to heal ourselves. Everything we do has to be about ourselves, our power first, and not about everybody else. We are a loving people by nature, but we can't spend so much time, energy, and effort loving somebody else and we don't love ourselves. We can't spend time and energy trying to put out somebody else's house fire when our house is on fire. That's counterproductive, counter-revolutionary, and just stupid. We have to understand that as a people, not just here in America, but around the world, we're being attacked on multiple fronts. If we're being attacked on multiple fronts, that means our children are being attacked on multiple fronts. Our women are being attacked on multiple fronts. Our brothers are being attacked on multiple fronts, and that's why we're losing, because we're too busy trying to put all our eggs in the voting basket, and we won't even do that right. We're putting all of our eggs in an economic basket. Most of those economic baskets aren't black-owned economic baskets, so we're not even doing that right. We're putting all of our eggs in an educational basket, and that educational basket says go out and get a job, get a trade, go get a, get an education, earn a trade, go get a job for white people. We're not even doing that right. So we're focusing on one or two areas, and and the focus is off because the focus is not about power. We're disrespected across the board because nobody is afraid of what's going to happen to them if they hurt or harm the black body, the black mind, the black spirit, the black psyche. Who cares about hurting a black person, shooting an unarmed black man, raping or assaulting a black child, kidnapping a black woman and taking her organs and or intestines out, putting on a mask that looks like a black person committing a crime and allowing the police to go find a black person? Who cares about black? What's black people do? We're gonna march. Well, we're gonna be on social media talking about it. If there's some video footage, we're gonna try and make it go viral. Oh my God, look at what they've done. Let's make it go viral. We're going to get upset at white people for trying to skew the story to make it look like the black person was wrong. We're going to get upset at white people for doing white people stuff as they've always done, as if we don't know about it. We've been here for 400 years. If you don't know by now, you need help. We're going to boycott. We're going to march. We're going to get upset. We're going to cry on TV. We're going to demand justice. And after that first week, we're going to fade into the darkness. Everybody knows how we operate. That's why they don't give a damn about hurting us. Because what are we going to do? The same things we've been doing. That is why we need a new focus on leadership. We got the wrong kind of leadership. The leadership we've been having up to now, 2019, has gotten us where we are. And we are nowhere near far enough. We are losing. We're at the top of every bad list and the bottom of every good list. If that's going to change, it's going to be us that changes it. Because again, no one else cares to change it. It has to come from us. But everything we need, we already have. If there's not ramifications and repercussions in a very real sense to hurting or harming the black, then that hurt and that harm is going to continue. There needs to be legal ramifications. There needs to be political ramifications. There needs to be economic ramifications. There needs to be spiritual ramifications. There needs to be physical ramifications to hurting and harming the black. Other people don't behave like we do when they're harmed because they have power by which somebody's going to pay for what was done in some way. Certain groups you never see on the news about them being disrespected or harmed or kidnapped or whatever the hell. But you always see us. And I understand it's because of what we've been through historically. I get it. But at some point we gotta take a time out and say, wait a minute. We gotta do some things differently. Because what we've been doing has not worked and is not working. So we gotta reassess what we're trying to do. And not everybody's ready for the reassessment. I get that. Not everybody's ready to build power. I get that. Not everybody's ready to look for black people for black answers. I get that. Those simply aren't the right people for this movement. Go do what you do with your organization, your people, your business, or whatever. But as America continues to change, as those that are currently in power continue to change and become more conservative with their white supremacist approach to doing things, as white people become more afraid of a minority majority and black progress, and they start ramping up these purge activities that are happening, as they start to put that training to use that they've been doing for 10, 20, 30 years, as our communities become more and more of food deserts, as the government continues to send our people boxes of food that are not nutritionally healthy, as our children continue to get miseducated, placed on the path of a school to prison pipeline, as these things continue, don't come to the Black Gold Nation looking for answers, because when we reached out to you, you weren't there. So when you chewed up and spit out by an anti-black system, because that's what it does, then you gonna get chewed up and spit out. America is changing, and those changes are not pro-black. America was built by black people, not for black people. The only solution we have is to unify ourselves as much as we can and build community. We need physical safe spaces where no one is going to harm us, our children, our women, our elders, and our brothers. We need to have our own institutions so that we can focus on our healing. We need to have our own institutions so that we can educate, train, employ ourselves. I was talking to our ambassadors in Dakar in Ghana this last week. Well, Dakar was this week, Ghana was last week. The opportunities that exist for African Americans here, if we were to connect with our brothers and sisters there, are tremendous. But we're not connected. That has to change if we're going to win. And the good news is that we have the ability to change it right now, today, if we wanted to. The Black Girl Movement is not anti-anybody. We're pro-black, which means we're putting black people first. And those black persons that we're putting first are our children. We cannot continue to send our children to other people who have proven themselves to be anti-black via their actions. Damn their words. Via their actions, they've proven themselves to be anti-black. We can't keep sending our children to these systems and expect to win. That's counter-revolutionary, counterproductive, and stupid. We have black people that know how to do what we need them to do. We have several of them in the movement, but we don't have all of them. We need to find more of them. We need to have cabinets of black people, 15, 20, 30 black people who are only focusing on education. That's the education cabinet. Only focusing on security. That's the security cabinet. Only focusing on IT. That's the IT cabinet. Only focusing on cybersecurity. That's IT. Only focusing on self-sustainability. That's the self-sustainability cabinet. Only focusing on spiritual healing and well-being. That's the spiritual healing and well-being cabinet. Only focusing on legal issues. That's the legal cabinet. Only focusing on cultural affairs and diplomacy. That's the cultural affairs and diplomacy cabinet. Only focusing on economics and finance. That's the economics and finance cabinet. Intellectual capital is not our problem. Economic capital is not our problem. Physical capital is not our problem. Our problem is we're not organized and connected. If the education cabinet says we need to make this move in education, there needs to be one phone call, one email, and hundreds of thousands of black people move in that direction. If the economics and finance department, that cabinet, says we need to make this move in economics and finance, then hundreds of thousands of black people need to make that move overnight. If there is a new way to train for physical security, and the physical security cabinet says we need to make this move in physical security, then all the local ambassadors who are over physical security make that move overnight. And our security unit is now doing things differently. Why? Because the national office said it. It's what we're going to do because that's our leadership and it's about protecting our people. If we're going to win, we have to change what we're doing. And only operating in one or two areas is not the smartest way to go about doing it. And not trying to build power in those one or two areas is not the smart way to go about doing it. As I said yesterday, we gave over $500 million to a movie in 1 month. $500 million we gave to a movie in 1 month. $500 million times 12, $500 million per month times $6 billion. The largest private military in the world was valued last year at $1 billion and it was for sale. That means that we have the economic resources to buy the largest private military in the world. We wouldn't do that. We would create our own, but that's the point. There's low-hanging economic fruit that exists in every black community in this country. Hundreds of millions of dollars flowing through the black community on a very grassroots community level. We need to take over those businesses. Get those economic predators out and move black people in. $500 million we gave to a movie in 1 month. We need conscious community centers that can help us focus on building power in the community. Wherever there's a black church, there needs to be a conscious community center that focuses on building power, educating our children, preparing them for an anti-black world, instituting systems designed to heal black people from the trauma that we're going through. Our children, our people are experiencing, dealing with PTSD. Never been to combat, but live in combat war zones in America. Who's going to change that? Not America. America don't give a damn about Americans in the cities and the people that live there. That's obvious. $500 million we gave to a movie in 1 month. How many conscious community centers can we build? How many black people can we employ to run the conscious community center? How many black teachers can we employ to train the children in the conscious community center? How many brothers and sisters can we train in security to protect the conscious community center? Everything we need, we already have. We're just not organized and connected. So if you want more information about the Black Gold Movement, go to our main website, blackgoldnation.com. Click on the about, read that mission. If that mission makes you dance and, make you feel good on the inside like it does me, go to our events website, Black Gold-Wakanda Rising. I got too many websites in my head. And click on upcoming events and RSVP for a presentation. You need to learn more about what we're doing because you need to be a part of what we're doing. If on the main website, blackgoldnation.com, you click on about, read the mission, you're like, what the hell? I don't get it. Click on Why We Must Build and watch some videos. I used to post one every day, but that got to be too much. But there are a bunch of them there. Go watch some videos and educate yourself as to what's what. The videos are categorized in different areas as to why we need to build something for ourselves. It's very clear. And it's from different sources, white, black, and otherwise. It ain't just coming from me. Hopefully, after you've educated yourself by watching some videos, you go back to the events website, Black Gold-Wakanda Rising, click on upcoming events and RSVP. You need to learn about what we're doing because you need to be a part of it. There are other nation builders out there, but I don't see any of them doing it like we're doing it. I would never say that they are doing it wrong because they are doing their thing in the nation building arena. I don't want to see anybody doing it like us, and that we understand we got to cover multiple fronts. So we got to make sure that we got people who know how to cover the multiple fronts so they can train the people on the ground to cover the multiple fronts. So, blackgoldnation.com if you want more information. Black Gold-Wakanda Rising if you want to RSVP. If you want to support us, click on the events website, Black Gold-Wakanda Rising, click on subscribe. Click on support. Scroll down, click that subscribe button. $4 a month. That is all we're asking of our supporting members, ambassadors, leadership. $4 a month. We waste that every other day. That's your Happy Meal, value meal, coffee, Starbucks, cigarettes, whatever. Are black people worth that? Yes. Are black women worth that? Yes. Are our elders and brothers worth that? Yes. Are our children worth that? Yes. And let's say, for example, you give your $4 for a whole year and you realize, man, Tamani's full of crap. The Black Gold Movement is full of crap, blah, blah, blah. You wasted $48 on trying to build a new kind of community for black people. I apologize sincerely. Thank you for your efforts. You really haven't lost anything. You waste $48 in a month. I guarantee it. But what if you're right in that you are investing in something that really is building power for black people? That's a worthwhile investment. The opportunity to invest in something that's going to build power for black people is at least reason enough for you to come check it out. Our success rate with those that see the presentation is extremely high. 98, 95%, 98, 99%. People that see the presentation get involved in some way. You need to see the presentation if you haven't already seen it. We're serious about what we're doing. We know what we're doing. We have people in the movement that know what they're doing. We just need more people like you to help us do it. And we won't need you to go see the presentation, come on board and say you like it and then don't do anything. That don't help us. We are born into a war that we're over 200 years behind on preparing for. We're way behind the curve. We got a lot of work to do. But we can do it because we've done it before. And the only reason you don't see the 73 different communities that we've built before here in America is because they were destroyed by white people on purpose. Which means what? The next time we got to be ready, willing, and able to protect it on multiple levels. That's why we can't afford just to fight on one front. And that's why that one front that we're fighting on can't be a The ultimate goal of that one area on that one front can't be integration. We got to be like everybody else. Build power. If we don't build power, no one will fear what's going to happen to them if they harm the black. Very simple. At least in my head, but what do I know? So let me make sure that we don't have any questions real quick. Then I can end this thing. My niece is on the call. Hope you said there. Hey, Mayosha, how you doing? My brother Andre, thank you, brother, for making it. You have never anything. Whatever, brother Larry, thank you for making it. Brother Ricardo, thank you. Sister Cherie, thank you. Hope I'm saying your name right, sister. Sister Veronica, thank you. Sister Leela, thank you. Brother Norman, thank you. Brother King Edit, I should say King and not Brother King. Thank you. Sister LJ, thank you. Sister Regina, thank you for making it. Sister Cherie says shalom, shalom, sister. Brother Roz, thank you for watching it. Sister Swatar, thank you for making it. But Dennis says peace and prosperity. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Arlene, I'm not sure that's a male or female name. Female? Peace, brother. So peace, sister. I hope. Funi Krima, thank you for making it. Brother Uncle, a conscious rapper. I like to talk to you at some point, brother. We need to connect. We need to talk. So dear friend request, no. Say when you have time to talk, we can talk. We need to be on the same page about some stuff. Sister Tamika, thank you. Brother Ross, thank you for correcting me. I'm sorry, I always get it wrong. Brother Stephen, thank you. Sister Connie, thank you for making it. Brother Desmond, one love, brother man. Sister Nanyamka, thank you. Brother Michael, thank you. Brother Vernon, thank you. Sister Nanyamka says, I don't believe it. I'm not exactly sure what that means. You got to tell me what that means, Nanyamka. I don't get it. Brother Obama, thank you. Sister Jennifer, thank you. Sister LJ, thank you. Brother Harlan, thank you for watching. Sister LJ says ED means to subtract. ED means to subtract from. I'm not sure that if that means education or not by ED. We need knowledge. Amen. Sharing that negativity energy. Not exactly sure what that means. We share and we don't fight. Amen. We need to outthink and produce collectively. Amen. We need to tap into spirit collectively and wage war without having to leave our very homes and connect our minds with like-minded. Amen. That's a process. That's another level of spiritual connectivity, but I agree with you 110%. But we will never get there if we don't have physically safe communities, and if we're not don't have people that can teach us how to get there. But I agree with you 110%. Sister April, hey, thank you for making it. I appreciate it. Brother Desmond, just like the Afro-Caribbean, amen. And they also have to stop dealing with the others over there too. Not exactly sure what that means. Agricultural cabinet, amen. We actually have that. Brother Jay, Bird Bryant, Brother Willie, thank you for making it. Brother Stephen says we must surely be wary and have effective ways of dealing with the actions of all the resident Negroes who are handpicked by white people and have invested themselves fully in the house of, I'm thinking that might be white supremacy, in the house of white supremacy. Amen. I agree, brother. Sister LJ says, greetings. You said you didn't believe it. And she was agreeing. Okay, I got you. Okay, thank you, Nanyamka, for clarifying. I appreciate it. Okay, so with that, again, blackgoldnation.com, click on About, read the mission if you like it. Black Gold Wakanda Rising, upcoming events, RSVP. If you want to support us, Black Gold Wakanda Rising, click support, scroll down, click that subscribe button. If you want to buy apparel, because we're trying to raise money, we're at the tail end of raising money to launch our own digital media network, Black Gold Media. If you want to buy apparel, which most certainly helps, t-shirt, hoodies, or whatever, go to the main website, blackgoldnation.com, click on shop and see our stuff and make a purchase. That also helps as well. And hopefully by this time next week, we won't just have apparel. We'll have things like mugs and backpacks and things of that nature that you can purchase as well. So with that, thank you guys very much for making it. I sincerely appreciate it. Always remember that no one can do everything, but if everyone does something, everything will get done. And always, 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 always remember that nothing is more sacred than the liberation and salvation of Black people. So with that, thank you guys very much for making it. God bless you. I don't do lives on Saturday, so I will see you again on Monday. You guys have a good one. God bless. Bye-bye.